Before you can even start thinking about ranking, first Google needs to crawl your site and save it to their index. The index is basically Google's library of everything they found on the internet worth saving. As a website owner, you get to tell Google which pages on your site you want indexed and which ones you would like left out of the index. Today's challenge has 3 parts. 1, making sure that Google can crawl and index your most important pages. 2, learning how to assess what Google has indexed from your site. And 3, making sure that Google does not index the unimportant or unhelpful pages on your site. First, we're going to look and see if Google can crawl and index your site. Believe it or not, we still regularly come across sites that are completely blocking Google from crawling or indexing the entire domain. To diagnose whether your site is able to be indexed, the easiest thing is to log into Google Search Console. So once you're logged in and you have the correct property selected, just use that search bar at the very top that says inspect any URL in, and then it says your domain, and just go ahead and put the home page in right here and press enter. If anything is blocking Google from crawling your site, you'll be able to diagnose that here on the screen. While you're in Search Console, you may also want to add a sitemap, which is something that's going to tell Google to regularly crawl the pages included in the sitemap. You could do that right here in Search Console. For most sites, your sitemap is going to be found at your domain/sitemap.xml. And if you don't see your sitemap there, just do a quick Google search for sitemap on whatever platform or theme or plugin you're using to generate a sitemap. All right, next up, you need to learn one of the most important search operators when it comes to SEO. So go ahead and go to Google, and I want you to type into the search bar site:/yourdomain.com or whatever your top level domain is. So for example, I would type in site:/fuelyourphotos.com and then press enter to search. Make sure there is not a space after or before the colon and everything runs together. This search is going to show you everything from your domain that is currently indexed in Google, and you can even switch to the Images tab to see which images are indexed from your domain. Not only will you be able to see the URLs that are indexed, but you'll also be able to see the title and meta description that Google is pulling from your site. For now, you just want to make sure that the most important URLs from your site show up in this list, and you want to start looking for URLs that are not helpful that you want to block from Google. Finally, you need to work on removing those unhelpful pages from the Google index, and we're going to do that with a meta robots tag set to no index. Now, most major platforms and SEO plugins will allow you to just hide from Google or disallow Google. There's a different terminology for most platforms, but usually there will be a checkbox or a setting where you can automatically set this on the page itself. But if not, you may need to insert a meta robots tag into the head of the page. And if so, just go to Google and search for meta robots no index, and you'll get the HTML that you need to insert into the head of the page. On most photography websites, we're going to recommend no indexing all of your tag archives, and this is really easy to do in Yoast, and even platforms like Squarespace make this relatively easy. On some platforms it may not be possible, but if you're on WordPress or Squarespace, it's pretty easy to no index all of your tag archives instantly. On WordPress, you'll also want to redirect attachment pages to the attachments themselves. Now, Yoast makes this extremely easy, and we're going to include some instructions in the challenge notes. Okay, now you have the tools that you need to manage your indexation. So in the future, you just want to make sure that you're always keeping an eye on what Google is indexing from your site and making sure that you're keeping those low quality pages out of Google's index. Head on over to the Fuel Your Photos Facebook group and let us know what you learned when finding out what Google is indexing from your site. Tomorrow, we'll be talking about doing a brand audit and setting up Google My Business. All right, we'll see you then.